Welcome back. On today's segment, we will be discussing community cinemas and how they can help our dear Hollywood reach its 1 billion naira sales goal. My name is Chizobamo Fabo, and you're welcome to Culture Conversations. If you're a true Nigerian, then Nollywood's impressive growth is something that you're familiar with. They have been making us proud to be Nigerian with blockbuster movies like The Wedding Party, King of Boys, Jago Jago, Anikolapo, and more. But the question is, are they making all the money that they can and should to help them expand into global domination? And our guest here today is to tell us how setting up community cinemas can help. Mosa Alabi is the CEO of Nollywire, a platform that has emerged in the last 2 years as the top destination for Nollywood movie enthusiasts, because Nollywire is changing how Nigerians discover and engage with films through curated filmographies and audience ratings. Collaborating with industry giants like Prime Video, Film House Group, Showmax, Netflix, Mosa has created premiere experiences and participated in the promotion of major Nollywood releases. His vision extends beyond the present to catalyzing the Nigerian film industry to create 5 1 billion naira grossing films through Nollywire by 2030, a milestone yet to be achieved in Nollywood. Mosa Alabi is a visionary leader who is shaping the future of Nigerian cinema, one cinephile at a time. Join me as I welcome Mosa Alabi. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here to discuss Nollywood and the 1 billion naira target. So, question. What is a community cinema, and how are they integral to the profitability and expansion of Nollywood?
So the number one problem is that right now, even across the entire sub-Saharan Africa, we have just below, we have less than 1,700 screens. So it means for a film to make 1 billion naira in Nigeria, it has to even show across all African countries. Wow. But then we have the issue of culture. But now in Nigeria, we have less than 80 locations. But what community cinema can do is that it lowers the barrier of entry. Now we can have more places where people can watch films. Because even if you market all your film and people know about it, but if people can't see it, for example, in places like Obomosho in Kaduna, there are no cinemas. But now if you have something there where people can now go and say, I want to see Battle on Booker Street, maybe Battle on Booker Street have made 1 billion. So that's the idea of community cinemas.
So just to foster accessibility to the movies.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
the more people that watch it, the more the earnings that are expected.
That's correct, absolutely.
Fantastic. So for the audience who might be thinking 1 billion naira target, what does that mean? Break it down for them.
All right. You know, in the end, filmmaking is a business.
True.
And everything is about managing investor confidence, right? So if more investors become more confident that, okay, if I invest 100 million in this film, the chances of it making 1 billion or 500 million is higher. And this is something, you know, creative industry is one of the places where you can have turnover quickly.
Yes.
You do a film in 2 years, you turn out ×5 if you do it well. Okay. So, and that's what it is. Now, if so far the highest we have been able to do is with Funga Kelele's film, we made about 660 million. 660. But in the end, for the producers, they don't get all that money because the cinemas take about 50% of that money, distributor take about 25. I mean, not exactly, but that's like the average. So, in the end, as a producer who went to get all the money, you make 600 million at the box office. But what the point of the box office is that it helps all the deals you will do when you want to take your film to the streaming services. And then when you want to take it to places like hotels and airlines as well, when you distribute it there. So that's the point. Now, if you do 1 billion, you do 2 billion, it means when you want to put your film on Netflix, you get more money there. When you want to put it in airlines, you get more money there. So that's the idea.
Okay, just helping the marketing potential.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so if you say community cinemas should help the earning potential and the marketing potential of the movies, how does it directly affect the earning potential of the actor? Because we've talked to the producer, we've talked to the marketer, the investor, the actor.
So in the end, you know, budget is what determines everything.
Sure.
So this film has been budgeted for 100 million. Sure. You have to do marketing, everything in that within that budget. Sure. But if you know a film is going to make 2 billion naira, like I said earlier, investor confidence. It means more investors will be confident to now say, okay, let's do a 500 million. There are very few films that have 250 million, 300 million budgets in Nollywood, like very few.
Okay.
The first film that had in $1 million budget, like one of the few films rather, which is Black Book that just came out on
really?
Netflix.
$1 million budget?
Exactly, and that's why he couldn't come to cinema. Yeah, we had an interview with Eddie, and I asked him, why did you bring it? He said he wanted to make this film for cinema, but he had collected $1 million from investors. Now, for an actor on that job, RMD couldn't work for 13 months because of that film. But it means Eddie had to be able to pay him for that period. He couldn't do any other film.
Yeah.
So for actors to also make more money, community cinema is helping to make more money for producers. Means a producer can convince investors to give him more money, and they can now pay actors. I will reference an interview we did with Oge Obasi, who is a producer for Mami Water, Nigeria's first film at Sundance, right? Yes. And she said the producers need to be able to do more to raise more money so that they can pay actors. Because if I raise 10 million naira for a budget for a film, how will I pay an actor 10 million?
Yeah.
So that's where actors benefit too. In fact, we have to work with actors to make sure that when a film comes out, we can bring them to different communities across the country. And people who want to see these actors because they are fans can now come out more. People would normally not come out. So definitely this is also about the actors.
And it also, in a way, helps the actor to now focus on the actual craft as against trying to be an influencer so they can make money whilst it works perfectly. So you said something about that currently the fans, the audience, only relate with the actors based off of what the actors show them on social media. If the actors are not showing up on social media, the audience is not relating with them. The audience is not relating with their movies. The audience is not, so for their craft, they're not getting as much viewership or as much celebration for their craft because people are not watching the movies. So so when you're now bringing the actors through the community cinemas, how does that help with the audience now getting to be immersed in the craft of the actor?
That's a very good question, by the way. So when you really think about it, let's say this is an actress or an actor who has 5 million followers, but this actor is not only posting about their films on their platform, on their Instagram, for example. They're posting a lot of different content. So I might be following that actor just for the funny stuff they post. However, when they are in a film, I don't care. So where we are taking this now is to separate that. Social media is great. It's a very, very important tool in our lives today. However, what we want to do now is to be able to identify who are the real fans of these people. So since we started Nollywire in the last 2 years, we know people that this person is a crazy Funke Akindele fan. When she announced a new film coming out in December, there were people that were like, this is where I'm going to finish my money this December. So, and that's what we're trying to do with this. That, okay, Funke Akindele, we can tell you for sure that you have 15,000 fans in Kaduna. So now she can plan that she wants to go to Kaduna. But right now, she doesn't really know. I mean, Instagram will tell you your audience, but these are people following you for whatever reasons. However, you know that these are people who are interested and love you for your filmmaking because they have watched all your films, they have reviewed all your films, they love you, they rated it 10 over 10, 8 over 10. That's what the idea is about. Fantastic.
Community cinema.
Yes.
Is it something that can be entirely self-funded? Obviously not. So, or do you need government, the investment of government, private companies, and even foreign investment?
I think, if you look at our environment, we don't get as much government support as you would, in other countries, especially for the creators. But thankfully, the government is doing better now. The Edo State government, Lagos State government are in the top of that list. And also, it's important that again, I said earlier about investor confidence. So while people like myself and a lot of other people who heavily invested, I'm even new here, right? A lot of people that have learned so much, the sacrifices and investment they have made personally in this industry. Now, what governmental support or of other investors will do is that it will help make that easier. The scale can go faster. For ADT to be able to make Black Book, which had a $1 million budget, there were about, I think, 25, I think if I'm not wrong, 25 investors on
25.
that. Yeah, executive producers, if I'm correct. And most of these were people that they had personal relationships from, as a tech person that he is.
Okay.
So, and that is like, it has to be, and there's something my mentor told me that, you can't tell investors come and bring money if you have not put your own personal stuff.
Yes.
So it's very important, like it starts with your personal investment. Then of course you now have to get, government has to create the right environment even for foreign investors to say, okay, there's something going on here.
Okay. So not self-funded, you need government, you need you need the help of everybody, really, foreign investors.
Yes.
Now, we're having a conversation. So, I mean, Nigeria is opening up to the world.
Yes.
Powerfully.
Yes.
And, we tend to get very excited when everybody is excited about us. But then with investments, I'm always very guarded. You have to be careful why the person is investing, the real why the person is investing. Have you found that that's something you have to be careful about? So that they don't spring up something on you later and say, okay, now that we've invested this much in you, this is the kind of content we want you to push. That's something to talk about.
Yeah, that's something that, there is a film Funke Akedele made recently, a show rather, on Prime Video called She Must Be Obeyed. And it's really about contracts. And when somebody say they're giving you something, what are they really asking for? You can be excited about that. And again, that's why it's very important for us to develop our local infrastructure when it comes to our film industry. Thanks to Netflix, thanks to all the streaming platforms, they have helped us to elevate because they have brought in more investment. However, what happens if they leave tomorrow? When they bring these terms that we want you to push this kind of agenda, because media is very important.
Yes.
So, but if we have a very strong local market, especially a strong cinema, where we know for sure that if I decide tomorrow that I'm not putting my film on streaming, I'm going to make 5 billion at the box office.
Yeah.
It means that our lives don't depend on them.
Don't depend on them.
It's now they need our content for their global audience, because there are a lot of Africans all around the world. And when you really think about it, people enjoy Nollywood content all around the world.
Yeah.
But if we have a strong local market, we'll be able to, show off those, demands that we might not be comfortable with.
Yes.
And that's why we have to do community
And that
cinemas.
helps us to really promote the African culture and keep it strong and sturdy.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so how will community cinemas improve the outlook of Nollywood on the global scene? I mean, you said the global scene, global eye of the scene is excited about us, but there's room for improvement.
Yes.
How will introducing this community cinema thing, how will it improve the...
Okay, so on that, I will still go back to the investor confidence, right? I keep saying that a lot, because now, let's say now, fast forward to 2025, 2030, we're having more films making $1 billion. It's like, we're now saying 10 billion is the new goal. It's now easier for investors abroad to say, okay, I think, no, I mean, they're already doing that, but now they want to invest more. And if I'm a Chinese investor and I'm investing in Nollywood, I definitely will want to promote Nollywood content. It means, so, Mami Water, which CJ Obasi directed, Nigeria's first film at Sundance, is like the first film that has been properly distributed. The first Nigerian film that is properly distributed. It's currently showing in the UK, is showing in cinemas, in Switzerland, in Germany, in the US.
In major cinemas?
Yeah, like this has not really happened before. And that's what will now happen with community cinemas, because now if we have stronger numbers locally, distributors abroad can say, I want to distribute this Nigerian film in the UK. I want to, it's no longer like we are trying to, rent a few cinemas and show it to Nigerians there.
Not a hard sell
like Mami Water is not being shown to Nigerians. They are being shown to everybody abroad. And that's what this does for us.
Okay, so final question. What charge will you give? You've started Nollywire. It's a brilliant platform. I'm just listening to you talk about it. It's blowing my mind.
Thank you.
What young Nigerians are doing. So the other young Nigerians were saying, you know what, I want to invest in Nollywood. I want to bring my own quota, not as an actor, but I want to build platforms like you're building, an app or something. How do I go about it? Because there's the whole red tape and everything. How do I go about it? Like you've gone about it. What advice will you give them?
I think the first thing I'll say two things. The first thing I'll say is stop thinking, like for any young person, it's easy for us, that excitement, for you to think you're better or you're different. Your case will be different. Imagine I'm thinking that when I told you the story of this is we wanted to make films and then we saw a problem. So imagine instead we thought that Funke Akindele is not that good. I will make a film and make 1 billion. So it means I wouldn't want to serve. So if you remove that thinking of I'm special, I'm different, it will make you humble yourself and now serve. You've seen a problem. Then you can now say, okay, I'm going to serve all these people that are having this problem. That's the first thing. And the other thing is that the first part of the problem is getting excited about solving it. It is a really hard thing. You have to understand delayed gratification. You can't just think it will happen in 3 months. You have to really calm down and do the work. There's no pride, there's something I like to say in Yoruba, but okay. In Yoruba they say "Ibise eni Latin money lole." What it means is that it's at work that they really know whether you're lazy or hardworking. So if you get CEO is just a title. It's a dirty work. It's very hard. You don't get a break. The reward will come, but you have to do the work.
Get excited about the work.
Yes.
Because if you don't get excited about it, especially our Gen Z people, if you don't get excited about the work, you're going to leave and quit after a while. Most likely at the point when it's about to bear fruit.
I'm telling you.
Mosa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm super proud of what you're doing, and I'm excited, very excited, because everybody knows I'm pro-Nigerian all day, every day. Thank you so much. We'll be joining John and Helen now after the short break to wrap up the show. Stay tuned.